So we're working on day number 45, which is Shomea Umosif. What it actually means is to hear, and hearing in Judaism means internalizing. Umosif means to add on to. What this means is expanding ideas. At which point does someone else's idea become your own? Right? So way number 45 means to understand and add. It's not sufficient to hear an idea and accept it at face value. Be sure you can get to the bottom of the idea. Understand its depth, develop it, and then add your own new dimension. By augmenting the idea with your own creative input, you make it your own and you breathe vitality and life into the wisdom you possess. Reb Noach gives a great process for doing this. So to illustrate this process, what does it mean to understand and add? He says, let's take the concept of a human being is beloved, for he is created in the image of God. What does this actually mean? So one is the basic point, right? Start with the basic point. God loves all human beings. That's the basic point. The implication of the fact that God loves all human beings is that the definition of love is to take pleasure in others' virtues, right? That's the Jewish consciousness definition of love. To love means to focus on virtues and excuse faults. If God loves all human beings, then all human beings must have virtue worthy of loving. Therefore, number 3 is the conclusion. Since the Almighty loves all human beings must be intrinsically lovable, right? Now this is confirmed by the fact that every human being pretty much has at least 2 people who love them, right? Their parents. So if you're having trouble loving somebody, think about, what if I were that person's mother? How would I love them then? So number 4 is the derivation. So what are we deriving from this? What is lovable about human beings? Well, we all have at least one unifying quality. We're created in the image of God. So every person has a soul that endows him with infinite value and the power of free will. Okay, so number 5 is, let's make an extension on this idea. We're commanded to love our fellows as ourselves, which means that love is something that can be commanded, right? Popular perception is love is something we feel, it's intrinsic, right? Can't be obligated, but the Torah teaches us otherwise. We have the capability to love someone. This is not something that's reserved for the most righteous among us. All of us have the requirement to love our neighbor as ourselves, right? Which means, again, that love can be commanded. A parallel to this, number 6, is to draw a parallel. We love someone, we want other people to love that person as well. And since God loves us, he wants us to love each other. Right? So number 7 is, let's draw a corollary. So part of loving someone is protecting them from harm. Therefore, loving humanity also means to fight for human rights, to work against injustice, to stop violence, to care for the needs of others. Number 8 is, therefore, we're going to draw a consequence from this. So if everybody practiced loving humanity, the world would be filled with far greater degree of patience, tolerance, understanding, and unity. Living with this one principle would transform the rest of human history. So number 9 is, let's take an appreciation. If you look back at the eras of the Greeks, the Babylonians, the Egyptians, right, who murdered, enslaved, and impaled, history shows that it was Judaism, through innovative declarations to love humanity, since we're all made in the image of God, that introduced civil rights and justice to the world. The Torah gave us detailed laws about how to translate that love into concrete action. So gradually that Jewish message of loving humanity became accepted by the entire civilized world. Amazing. So this analysis process is a great way to arrive at an extension of existing concepts that you can make your own. So number 2 of this is to stay on target. Don't wait for a moment of inspiration to process a piece of wisdom and make it your own. Creative thinking is a discipline that requires hard work and practice. As with any new skill, it takes constant drilling to improve your creative thinking and ultimately master the art of creative thinking. Constantly monitor your conclusions so that you make sure you're not heading off in the wrong direction. If you build a faulty foundation for your original understanding of the idea, it's very likely that you will be a leaning tower and be heading in the wrong direction. So use others to bounce your idea and your understanding of ideas off of them. That give and take will allow you to correct your errors while they're still relatively minor, while you haven't gone very far down a path. Number 3 of this is make it a daily practice. Right? We're all too busy during the course of any given day to be spending time thinking great deep thoughts and working on creative concepts and ideas. But we can take that 5, 10, 15, 20 minutes at the end of a day, right, when we're sitting down and having a drink, right, to really focus in on some of those key concepts and find ways to really expand on those ideas. So an applied wisdom concept, select 5 of your favorite pieces of wisdom, things that you consider really important tools for life, and take them through the drill. Find a corollary, a consequence, a derivative, and ultimately a conclusion.